This comes from Tales from Your Server. So, service industry related story. Guy tips big to impress date, but returns afterwards to take money back.
Shut the f*** up! Oh, shut the f*** up! Money?
Oh, that's kind of awesome.
Oh.
This is literally, okay, that's George Costanza. That is just George Costanza right there. This needs to start with boom, 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 boom. Okay, here we go. We had a guy come in last night with his date. Throughout the evening, he was the picture of courtesy and good manners. He complimented me, thanked me every time I came to refresh waters or check on the table, made a point to be forgiving of a kitchen mistake, super extra nice. The dream customer, really. I appreciated it, but didn't delude myself that I was the source and figured he was just in a good mood because the date was going well. They were chatting, laughing, having a great time, so I assumed I was an indirect beneficiary. He was certainly in some kind of celebratory mood because he was sparing no expense. He asked for our highest quality wine. She got our most expensive entree. He ordered one of every appetizer for her to sample after she made a remark that she was having trouble deciding. It was a real feast. So the evening starts wrapping up and I get their check. I ask if they'll be together or separate. She starts to say separate, but he makes a big deal of saying, "Oh, are you kidding? Together, definitely together. You never have to pay when you're with me, babe." And so on and so forth. Then slides me a credit card. I get everything sorted and bring out the receipt. He fills it out and it came to $289 total. He doesn't even blink and makes a big show of leaving a $100 tip. He thanks me for my service and emphasizes that what a lovely night they've had. Of course, a tip that size is exceptional, so I thanked him profusely. He said there was no need to thank him and goes on a big tear about how underappreciated waitstaff are and to just think of it as a stand-in for all the ingrates who didn't treat me right. Saying, don't plan to tip, don't plan to eat out, you know? While looking at the mesmerized girl the whole time and not giving me a glance. I could care less where he was looking. I was looking at the upcoming $100. I thanked him again and said I hope to see them back soon, and that was that. So he helps her into her coat and off they go. Great night. I was riding high. About 90 seconds later, he's back in the door without her, going, I think I left my... When the door shut, he looked around to make sure she was out of earshot. He then says, without the slightest shade of shame or embarrassment, mark the tip down to $20, hun. I was just playing it up for my date. You understand. And turns to go. I understood, but not how he hoped I would. But I couldn't make a scene in the middle of work. That's not my place. So I wanted to bring it up one more time to try to give his conscience a chance to sink in. And said, okay, sir, you'd like to amend your tip from $100 to $20, is that correct? And even though I didn't show a hint of displeasure in my voice, he shot back, extremely hostile. Yes, and if I see a cent over the 20 on there, I'm going to dispute the whole meal with my credit vendor. So don't try to pull anything. The most frustrating part of this for me was not going from an over 30% tip to under 10%.
Yeah.
It was that this poor girl was being strung along with no idea of who the guy was behind her back. It was extremely manipulative of him, which is a major red flag. Also, the way he's talking is like fucking old school, like, you understand, babe.
Hun?
I'm just doing this.
What's with all these characters we're meeting in this episode that are like, whatever, babe.
Why are they all greasers?
Yeah.
In my head, it's like, you understand.
Put the cat under the cargo.
I gotta poop.
It's what comedians do.
I got a tiny and I gotta poop.
That's my favorite clip ever.
I've had my fair share of toxic relationships in the past and really wish someone had pulled the blinders off my eyes. I so desperately wanted to do something to alert this girl to the trick the guy had pulled, and maybe it would be a catalyst to her questioning his other actions. But again, I was at work and that just wasn't my place, so I altered the bill and that was that. Then, just in time, something occurred to me, and I darted outside hoping to catch them in the parking lot. I got lucky. They're parked on the street instead, and he was still dealing with the parking meter. So I flagged him down and rushed across the street, nearly stumbling into traffic in my haste for a delicious moment. His date was already in the car, but rolled down her window, since no one expects the waitress to follow you out to your car waving her arms like a crazy person. I made it across and said more than loudly enough for her to hear, "Sir, we amended your tip from $100 down to $20 as you requested, but you'll actually need to fill out a different receipt reflecting your new total for our records."
Yes! Yes!
Your old receipt still has your original tip of $100 written on it, but since you just came in and asked us to charge you $20 instead, we can't have a discrepancy in our records.
That sounds true.
I hope you understand this is just a bookkeeping regulation that goes way above me. It has nothing to do with you retroactively downgrading your tip from $100 to $20. We're just glad you enjoyed your evening. His jaw was on the floor. He tried to pretend as though he didn't know what I was talking about and gave me some line like, "I think you're after someone else. I'd only come back because I'd forgotten my keys." But I would not let it rest. The more he played dumb, the more I repeated versions of, "You wanted to change your tip from $100 down to $20. You came back in," and on and on. So we went back and forth for a few more seconds until finally he went, "Okay, whatever. Sorry for the miscommunication. If you need me to fill out a new receipt, I can." And I, totally even-keeled, was like, "You only need to fill out a new receipt if you want to change your tip from $100 down to $20. And I'm guessing he didn't have the money in his account because he did it. He filled out the new receipt. His girlfriend was visibly shocked, and the man was staring daggers through me. You could feel the rage emanating off him. It was quite satisfying to accomplish this, in place of the other toxic men I was never able to confront, and all the bad tippers. Ironically, the exact kind he made a righteous speech decrying just a few minutes beforehand. And then off they drove, I'm sure never to patronize our restaurant again, and hopefully to never go out together again, which would make it totally worth it. Dude, this is an I Think You Should Leave sketch.
This
is literally the nacho scene from I Think You Should Leave. It's like, we have a policy where you can't have the nachos with all this stuff on them. It's like, did you go and tell him that? What? I had them check because the fans were on us. There's no fans above us. What? What an insane guy. That guy is cartoonish.
I'm willing to vote for OP for president.
Yep.
Yeah, OP, absolute legend.
Incredibly classy the way she did it too.
OP is such a legend. And this guy is one of the worst assholes ever because the problem is he acknowledges what is right and what is wrong. He announces that he understands the severity of the situation.
And does it a lot.
But then goes and like switches it down. So I'm like, you literally acknowledge that people who don't tip are absolute monsters. And then you come in and just do it. Like, you are fully embracing that you're an awful person.
And he's like, and if you don't do this, I'm gonna go to my credit
I'm gonna
card. So
give
he
you
does
hell.
this a lot.
Like,
you can tell he's done it before, and whether it's multiple times with this person that he's on a date with, or he's just doing this. I'm like, are you gonna kill this woman?
Yeah. No, he's giving American Psycho.
Yeah. He literally is. Also, so the bill was like $280.
$289.
Tipped $100.
$200, but $20.
$20 is less than 10%.
That's less than 10%.
No, it's bad.
It's like 7 or 8%.
Bury him. Oh my God.
Bury him in receipts.
Put him on the cargo hold of a ship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Comments. Get him. I think you did her a favor exposing his deficiencies. OP responded, thank you. I'm glad it comes off that way. If it had just been him alone leaving a big tip and like changing his mind or something, or even if he'd done that with a group of platonic friends, I'd have been pissed, but I would have just changed it and let it go. I only followed up because I wanted an opportunity to clue the girl in, and the receipt was the only legitimate way. Well, he also like laid it out that he's lying to her. He's like, you understand, I'm lying to this woman to trick her. Someone said, dude, I have a serious lady justice boner right now. Oh my God. Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear aprons.
I can't believe she thought of that because that's like so well thought out, the paperwork and the receipt of it all.
And
I was
And
like,
just kept repeating the $100 down to $20.
yeah, I would try to find her on Instagram and be like, hey, I'm the waitress. That guy. I would have not done it that efficiently because the best way was to do it in front of him too.
No, that was slay.
Picture it's like the night streets of New York. The streets are wet from the rain earlier that day, and she ran out there and she's like, wait! And she's like, the girlfriend's like, and like sees all this, and he's like in a trench coat, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, no, and she looks amazing, and you know she looked amazing the whole time.
From relationship advice. My girlfriend told me she was with a friend, but that friend was with me picking out an engagement ring. How do I confront my girlfriend about her lie? God, this is a doozy. I swear my life feels like a movie right now. I, a 28-year-old man, am planning on proposing to my girlfriend of 3 years, a 26-year-old woman. Now, I suck at picking out jewelry. I'm the type of guy that doesn't see a problem with heart-shaped jewelry. Seriously, why is it considered so ugly? So every time I want to buy something for my girl, I usually consult one of our mutual friends. My girl's best friends are all friends with me as well, and we all get along well, so asking them for help picking out jewelry is something I'm used to. When it came time to pick out a ring, I consulted my girlfriend's best friend, Justine. Justine and I are quite close, and she knows my girlfriend better than anyone, including me. So when my girlfriend went out to visit her sister and baby nephew, I invited Justine over to the house to help pick out a ring. Justine and I looked through a few catalogs, but decided it was a dead end and it would be better to go to professionals at a jewelry store. However, I didn't know when my girlfriend would be coming home, so Justine and I thought of a clever text to gauge how much time we had. I asked her when she'd be coming home as I was ordering takeout and wanted to know when to tell them to have the food ready by. She responded by saying it would be a few hours. She met up with Justine to go shopping. Now, obviously this took me by surprise since Justine was standing inside my house. I showed Justine the text and she looked as confused as I was. It isn't out of the ordinary for my girlfriend to meet up with people out of the blue like that for shopping, lunch, etc. She's a very spontaneous person and loves making plans on the fly. So ordinarily, I would have believed this text in a heartbeat. However, obviously this had to be a lie. When she came home, she acted completely normal, and I played along, but it's really been hard to act like everything's fine. We got takeout, ate together, and cuddled on the couch after. So far, she's caught on a little that something is upsetting me, but I just can't tell her what. Looking at her kills me. I don't know what to do. My girlfriend and I have zero trust issues, and we tell each other everything, so this lie is killing me. I want to ask her about it so badly, but if I tell her I knew she was lying, I'd have to explain why, and I really don't want to do that. What should I do? I know she lied to me, but I don't know how to confront her about it. Should I just forget it? This won't stop gnawing at me. Please help.
Oh, this sucks.
That sucks.
No.
So wrong, bad timing.
And you have to confront her about it. Because if you're going to take the
I
step
think
to ask
so.
her to
Oh, you
marry
absolutely have to.
You have to.
I think so too.
You can't forget
I
it.
think he could say like, "Hey, I wanted to meet up with Justine to plan something for you," or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he has to confront her.
Yeah.
Ooh, what is she lying about?
Some comments here. I know you say you can't tell her why you know, but I honestly think you should. You don't want this to bug you forever and propose to a girl that could be potentially hiding something. Just say you were hanging out with Justine because you needed help with a gift, so you know she wasn't with her, and see what she says. Trust and communication is important, and it would suck to know you proposed to a girl who could be doing you wrong, but also just as bad to sit there and let that lie eat you alive. Someone said, see, I would have texted a selfie of you and Justine back to her. How do you know she wasn't with your best friend picking out a ring for you? Lastly, someone said, well, you no longer have zero trust issues. I'd say this is a big trust issue since you know she lied. First things first, if you bought the ring or put down a down payment on it, take it back. Try to get her to double down on her lie, then confront her. Do you know if Justine has talked to her?
Okay.
I don't know if you need to have her double down on the lie. Like, if you have zero trust issues, just...
What?
Yeah.
These commenters are not helping. Send a picture back
Yeah,
of him and
crazy.
Justine like, you.
Yeah.
What? This is crazy.
I think some advice is very much on the play of like, oh, here's how you one-up her. Here's how you win. And it's like, do you love this
No.
person and want it to work out? Because
You can't win
if you
in
can't,
your relationship.
if you need to be doing stuff like that, the relationship to me is over.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't just go and talk to your partner
Yep.
about something, then you're not really in a relationship.
Yeah.
You're kind of enemies now.
Yeah.
I get I think where a lot of comments come from is a place of catharsis of like, you know,
Yeah.
can get her is if you do this.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
We don't know
Anything.
if she's a bad person. Because as someone else pitched, it's like, was she out buying a ring? Like, we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Update, obviously,
Thank
on
God.
this one. I decided to confront my girlfriend. I thought about using some of the lies people suggested, but they just wouldn't make sense. To say I ran into Justine somewhere, well, I told my girl I had to stay home and do stuff around the house, and that's why I couldn't go with her to see my sister-in-law. To say Justine was helping me pick out jewelry, it doesn't make sense for her to come all the way to our house to help me pick out a piece of jewelry unless it was a serious piece of jewelry, like an engagement ring. If I just wanted to get her a piece of jewelry as a gift, I'd ask her friends for suggestions or ask them to send me pictures of jewelry she might like. It all happens over text. None of the excuses made sense, so I decided to be honest. I basically just said that I knew we'd been thinking about marriage and she probably knew a proposal was coming soon, so I invited Justine over to help me find her the perfect ring. And that so happened to be the day that she said she was going to see her. So what's the deal? She immediately started grinning like an idiot and prodding me about proposing and the ring, but then we got back on the topic of where she was and she confessed that what she was really doing. No, she wasn't cheating, and no, she wasn't picking out a ring for me. The amount of times that was commented was crazy. So some people are dog people and some people are cat people. Well, I'm a snake person. I grew up with snakes my whole life, but I never felt like I was able to get one because my girlfriend has always been uneasy about living with a snake, which I completely respected. Also, the process of buying and raising a snake is very different from buying and raising a dog or cat. It's quite complicated. So you can imagine my surprise when my girlfriend showed me a picture of her holding the cutest Kenyan sand boa I have ever seen.
Cute?
Needless to say, my girlfriend was going to surprise me with a snake. We're picking her up next week. Let me know if you want a pet tax. She's so cute. I definitely did not expect this, and I feel bad for ruining the surprise, but oh well. Life is good. Sorry if this ending isn't what you guys wanted or expected. Just a snake. Thanks for reading.
Just a snake? Wait, this is...
Just a snake.
This ties it up in a very bizarre way. The guys are like, just a snake? She's the snake, bro.
No, she's got to be bad.
Oh.
Well, that's...
Whoa.
How crazy would it be if there was like another update? She went out and was cheating on me,
a
and she
guy
took
named
a
Snake.
picture of a snake as a cover.
They went to a snake place together. Well, that's good.
I knew it. I was like, I don't think...
Yeah.
Because Justine was like, huh?
Yeah.
If she was like, oh, I'm sure she just messed up. If she was covering for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
God.
I have such like internet brain rot that I'm like kind of sad that it just ended great. I'm like, oh, they both really love each other, and she got him a snake, and they're gonna get married. Like, I wish there was some more drama.
That's when the show ends. When they finally get together, that's when the show ends.
Like, this is awesome. I'm very happy, but part of me is like, oh, well,
Good for
where's the
them.
rest of it?
It's
you know?
definitely f***ed up that stories about bad people are sometimes the ones where you're like, whoa.
Whoa.
Okay, good. These are good people.
They're gonna have a snake and a wedding.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
Good people.
I wish there was a picture of the ring.
I want a picture of the sand boa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see
The sand boa with the ring right here.
Yeah. Yeah, put the ring on the sand boa.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Good for them.
Awesome.
Yay.
Good. All right, this next one's incredible. I remember.
Yay!
So, quick preface here. Something that we used to do that I want to start doing again on this show is there were assholes, but there were also legends. Stories where someone in it is awesome. And you respect them beyond anything else. A good example, I don't know if you guys
Like Jesus.
I don't know if you guys were in the episode. Do you remember the story about the guy who brought his pet raccoon to the wedding? One of the stories that we had on this show was a guy brought his pet raccoon to a wedding.
Okay.
And people were mad because they said, don't bring the pet raccoon. But he's like, I had nowhere else to bring him. Now, he might have been the asshole, but Pebble, the raccoon in a bow tie at the wedding is a legend. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, Pebble did nothing wrong. Pebble's awesome. So there's legends, and there's also people who do awesome stuff. There was a story we read about a guy who, there was an unfair dress code imposed on a woman at his job, so he started wearing, like, he's like a big 250-pound guy, so he started wearing yoga pants and like, whatever.
Okay, legends.
Legends. There are people who are legends. So this is a legend.
Like when everyone gave money to that charity.
Awesome legend.
Legends.
Legends. Okay, but this is one of my favorite legends. Am I the asshole for serving my daughter wet-ass pizza?
I love it.
43-year-old woman here. My 16-year-old daughter had some friends over in our backyard for a get-together yesterday. I asked them if they wanted food, and they said sure, but honestly didn't seem like they were even having fun. I pride myself in being a fun mom. Maybe not a cool mom, but fun. So I ordered pizza for them. To make them laugh, I played that song, Wet Ass from my phone, and I sang along to it holding the pizza singing wet ass pizza. Honestly, I thought it was hilarious. Then I put the pizza down and began booty shaking a little. No boys were there, just 3 girls.
No boys!
My daughter shrieked as if she'd been stabbed and said this was humiliating, and I said, sounds like dry pizza energy. As a joke. And her friends snickered a bit, so I know the joke landed. Well, it's been a day and she won't leave her room or speak to me. Am I really in the wrong?
Okay, how old is the daughter?
16. Sounds like dry pizza
It does
energy.
sound like dry pizza energy. Like, she was not wrong at all.
This woman's a fucking
Woman's a
legend.
legend, yeah. I can imagine how long it would go on too, because there was like different segments, there was different acts.
Yeah, she did a whole thing.
Act 1 was bringing it in, Act 2 is dancing, Act 3, got to close it out with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here's my stance. Here's what I feel about this.
Okay.
You can live in a world where both exist, that this woman is a legend, and that was fucking humiliating.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
I think 16 is right in the area where you don't want your mom to be funny.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's only 3 friends. If it was like you had a party of a bunch of people,
Yeah.
I think that elevates it. But it's like, it's a little just get together. They're just hanging out.
And I remember, I don't know, this is very personal, but I feel that I turned 18, and then it was okay for my mom to make me laugh. But there was an age, I think it was like, it was like 15 to 18 where she's not allowed to make me laugh.
Yeah.
And it's just a thing. Like she's only allowed to make me smile.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Having met your mom, this feels like her energy.
It does.
And there was a time where if she did that, this just no. And it's those ages.
Yeah.
And I feel for this girl, but also this is legendary behavior on behalf of the mom. And what I love about this, I have so much to say, I'm sorry. What I love about this is that the mom did this based off of the vibes she was picking up on. And it sounded like they weren't having fun, which only makes me think, like, what if they were talking about something really serious?
Oh. And
Like,
the mom
what if-
comes in with this pizza,
Yes,
wet-ass
wet-ass pizza. Like, what if something really serious happened at school and they were talking?
And they don't want to tell the mom. That's brutal.
Oh.
That's a whole different perspective, and I love it.
I'm imagining, you know how there's a part in the song where there's that like truck horn sound? If she had like a little horn that she like, So she was determined the asshole by the comments.
Okay.
Which I think your point is very fair. This is allowed to be funny and also
sad.
And it's also what level of asshole here, right? Like we read so many stories where someone like breaks up a marriage and it's like, yeah, you're a absolute asshole. This is like, okay, you're an asshole, but your daughter's gonna laugh about it in a couple of years.
Something can be wet and dry at the same time.
No, it can't.
Damn it. Okay, some comments. You sound like a cringy mom. You're trying too hard to be cool, but to your daughter and her friends, it's an old person trying to be hip and totally failing. They weren't laughing at your joke, they were snickering at you. You embarrassed your daughter and you should apologize.
Incorrect.
Even if your intentions were good, you didn't have the effect you hoped for and you're the asshole. Someone else said, you're the asshole, you're her mother, not her friend. Act like her mother and don't try to be the cool mom. Your kid will either think that you are cool or not. Acting like you're filming a TikTok is more likely going to embarrass her in front of her friends. Someone else said, no one's the asshole. I feel people are being way too hard on OP. Yeah, it's cringy and everything your parents do, like breathing, is super humiliating when you're a kid. I'm getting the Amy Poehler mom vibe, just from the meme only. But I haven't seen the movie, but she doesn't have to f***ing crawl in a hole and die just because she had kids. A lot of parents are super uptight, can't joke around, don't let their kids do anything fun. Let this woman live. She isn't being abusive, toxic, or shitty to her kid. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a parent. And also my parents didn't do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like my parents were a little more on the serious side. So, but.
Yeah, my mom didn't do this stuff.
I also think
my parents did this stuff. They're silly.
Why I don't think it's, I agree. You embarrassed her in that moment.
Yeah.
But also like, I don't know. I got embarrassed a lot in my teen years because I was trying to be an actor, so you just naturally, that happens. And honestly, some of it I'm a little grateful for.
Yeah.
Like, you want different life experiences. I just think this is a story that when this daughter's like at this point now, the daughter's what, 20 now?
Yeah.
It's probably f***ing hilarious.
They'll probably joke about it all the
So
fucking
funny.
time now.
It's gotta be a staple.
I think if she did this around cousins, it's funny. You do this around friends.
That's true.
At that age, for some reason, like I remember when I was with
I would
my
get
mom.
so mad.
When I was
So
with
mad.
my mom around friends, like it was so embarrassing to just have a mom.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like I would be with my mom, and if she was driving the car, I would duck. Because I don't want people to know, like, I'm with my mom.
But that's
I don't want
also
people to know I
so
have a mom.
sad.
Like, it's
That's
so sad because
sad.
being 16, you're like, I'm an individual. And you're like, when you have a mom, you're like, no. Like, it's just, I don't know what it is. But, like, if she did this around her cousins, I think it'd be funnier. If she did this, and, like, I don't know, if she did this for TikTok and she blew up, I bet she wouldn't be embarrassed. I don't know. I'm like, it's embarrassing.
But the mom is a person, too. The mom is also an individual, and they're just trying to relate to their daughter and be silly and be fun. And
Oh, my God, wet-ass pizza.
wet-ass pizza is good. It's dumb. It's stupid.
And then
I
for
love
her
it.
to punch up and go, you have dry-ass pizza energy right now?
Incredible.
Yeah.
It might be different. Also, the intention, if the mom was trying to embarrass her a little,
That's fair.
if you can tell when she's trying to embarrass her.
It's certainly one. I mean, these are very short stories. There's probably a lot of context there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are the typical interactions between this mom and daughter on a daily basis? That adds to it,
Yeah.
right? But just in a vacuum, it just reads as a sitcom scene.
Yes,
to
it
me.
does. Same.
Title is interesting. Today I f***ed up by repeatedly shooting my boss in the head. Okay, I'm assuming they're not confessing to murder, so we'll see what this actual context is.
Okay, David Dobrik ass clickbait.
This happened a few days ago. Went paintballing with my office colleagues as an end-of-year celebration. In a game, I ran to the edge of the arena hoping to flank the other team. Two people on the other team had the same idea, and we found ourselves in a standoff behind some wooden cover. I shot the first person quickly, and they called their hit and went away. It was then between me and one other guy. I'm going to call him Dave. Instead of wearing a full helmet, Dave wore only a mask which left the rear and the top side of his head uncovered. Unluckily for him, the top of his head was visible to me through a slit in his wooden cover. I considered for a moment what to do. Do I shoot him in the head and cause immense pain and agony, or do I wait for a shot against a more protected part of his body? In the end, I thought, I only need to shoot him once for him and I to be on our way. And by wearing a mask and not a helmet, he knew full well what could happen. So I steadied my aim and shot him through the gap in the wood, clean onto the top of his head. I heard him scream, "Ah, you bastard!" But he didn't call the hit. He didn't even move from his position. So I shouted, "Call your hit!" But he didn't respond. I am sure he heard me because I saw his head turn slightly when I spoke, but he didn't call his hit. So I shot him again and again and again in the exact same spot on the top of his head. With each shot, he let out a grunt, but did not call his hit. It was kind of satisfying, actually, seeing the paintballs explode on the top of his head. At this point, his head is a yellow/red paintballing mess, but yet he still does not call his hit. Eventually, a marshal comes nearby, and I tell him that Dave did not call his hit, but as you can see, he is covered in paint. The marshal tells me to shoot him once more so he can see it for himself. So right through that same slit in the wood, I shoot him in the exact same spot on the top of his head. He doesn't call his hit, and the marshal pulls him out and escorts him away. I then see him after the game, crying his eyes out, holding a bag of frozen peas against his head, and walking toward the car park. Turns out it was my line manager, my boss. I'm not sure whether to tell him it was me that shot him after the Christmas holidays. Dude, what the is this guy thinking, though? Like, you're not going to call a hit, you're getting shot repeatedly, and you're not going to move?
Was that their first time playing paintball together?
I'm assuming.
Because maybe this boss didn't know the rules and understand.
They, at paintballing courses, usually pretty explicitly, like almost annoyingly so, explain the rules. In my experience, because I've gone a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, one of the first times I went paintballing this is forever ago. It's one of the first times out here in LA. I became friends. I'm not going to say who. I became friends with someone who was on Malcolm in the Middle, and I got to go. I got invited to go to like their season wrap like paintballing match.
Damn.
I don't recall who all was there, but it was a bunch of crew and cast from Malcolm in the Middle. And I, at one point, was like stuck up in a corner in this like room, and suddenly a guy appeared at the doorway, and I just kind of look at him, and I was like, oh, and then he shoots me square in the balls. And I was like, I'm out.
Oh my goodness.
Jesus.
I
Yeah.
mean, we've experienced paintball. I've experienced it on Smosh Game stuff. It's
There that day.
you did it too? Did
Yeah,
you
that's when I
fight?
was filling in for Olivia.
That's
Oh, right.
So
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
all experienced
We all did
paintballing.
paintball. Yeah.
It's fun. I've gone a lot.
I the first time I did it, like I cried because the pain was so shocking. Also, they like cornered me and it was kind of brutal and it made me scared. But like, I can't imagine on bare skin and your head.
Head where there's like no
Yeah, what
juice
was
in the
get
middle.
shot, if you get shot, it's almost like a reflex for me to be like, I'm it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you got me. Like,
and it's scary, like to be hit. So it's so funny that the boss was like crying after I cried. So I relate, but like, why did you? Like, this guy must have been shot in the head 5
I just don't know.
times.
He's being a bad sport though by not
Yeah.
like acknowledging it.
Yeah, and like
It's so men.
it is
Such
so
a man thing. So men.
I don't know. Yeah, it does hurt, but I don't know.
It stings.
One
the
I got
crime?
shot. I luckily it hit my mask, but I did once get hit in the forehead.
On that dome?
On that freaking dome. It's a big
And then
target.
you started to remember.
And then I was like, portal, like, whoa! There's an edit here, so let's see what other info. To those of you worried that I did serious damage to him, he is mostly fine, I think.
That's it? That's the whole edit?
That's not the whole edit. But that's not the response. To those who are concerned, I don't know if he's okay. He has a sore head and was quite embarrassed from crying in front of his staff. It was your basic rent to the public paintball gun that did not possess any real dangerous power behind it. Though getting shot in the exact same spot over and over probably increased the pain quite a bit.
Why didn't he move even?
That's what I'm kind of shocked. He's just there just like, Now, some have said he will recognize my voice. I didn't think about that. I am sure my voice from within a paintball helmet at a distance from behind some cover was still heard, but probably not super recognizable given the circumstances. I don't think he really got a good look at me either, so I think I'm in the clear. To be sure, I just checked my calendar for the coming work week and saw my boss has scheduled a meeting for everyone that attended the paintball event. Ooh. Depending on how that goes, I may post a further update for the near future.
Oh my God, I hope there is one.
So in the comments, someone said, I'm assuming he was new to paintball and didn't know he had to call it. OP responded, we were all told the rules at the start, and he also saw his teammate get shot and call their hit. So he knew that hit calling was a thing. Perhaps he thought that headshots didn't count or something. LOL. Plus 6,000 upvotes. No, the whole idea of a game of paintball is like, hey, if you get shot, you're probably out.
Right.
No, this guy was a sore sport. And he has a sore head.
Sore head and crying? Sounds like my Friday night.
Yeah. How's your head? Sore.
Sore.
Someone else said, I really like how the ref was like, one more time to prove it. Dude already had paint all over his head, and ref just wanted to see his pain. Someone said, hang on, you shot him several times in the top of the head, and he never once moved or ducked away from that spot. I've seen plenty of idiots in paintball, but never anything like that. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You move.
What? I don't know. Like, maybe he couldn't figure out what to do next, but you simply lie down.
That man is having like a D-Day moment. He just starts like, that guy is freaking out.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine having a weapon in your hand. Just,
Yeah, he didn't even shoot back. Like
Yeah, didn't even whatever that crack was, stick your gun through the crack, like do something. My
I
guy.
would do something. Someone said, it's better for the both of you if he doesnn't find out. OP responded, I agree. I need to practice my, oh my God, I can't believe that happened face if he brings it up in the next meeting.
Yeah, I mean, because nobody
God.
saw except for the marshal.
Yeah, he just has to make sure to not say call your hit or whatever. The thing that he shouted.
Yeah.
Call your hit.
In a lineup.
No, the boss comes, he's like, I want all
Everyone
of you
to say it?
Yeah.
say this phrase.
Like, what is that meeting gonna be? I wish we could be in that room.
He's just at his cubicle one day, just gets shot with a paintball. Update.
Yeah!
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Almost 2 weeks ago, I repeatedly shot my boss in the head at a paintball event with some colleagues from work. Last week, I noticed my boss scheduled a meeting for everyone that went paintballing that day. Today was that meeting. I was anxious all day and barely got any work done. I kept reading comments back to myself about how he is going to recognize my voice, or that he had a mental breakdown of some kind, and that I irresponsibly failed to notice before shooting another 4 paintballs straight at his head. It didn't help that people in the office were talking about how our line manager cried at paintballing. All I added, God damn, that's so rough.
That's gonna be talked about for like 8 years.
I'm unfortunately picturing like 5-year-old crying. I'm picturing just like,
He said crying his eyes out.
Like with an ice cream cone, like someone bought him an ice cream. He's just like,
and the visual of a frozen bag of peas.
How did they have a frozen bag of peas at a paintball course?
They probably needed a few frozen bags of peas for.
It didn't help that people in the office were talking about how our line manager cried at paintballing. All I added to the conversation were lines like, oh yeah, I saw that after the game, what happened? And wow, that's crazy. It became clear that nobody really knew what happened. Most people thought that he fell and banged his head really bad or something. Everyone knew he cried, even people that didn't go paintballing, but nobody actually knew what happened. Only I knew he didn't hit his head. He just took the same shot over and over to the exact same spot. He didn't call his hit and then cried afterwards. That's all that happened. Once we sat and settled in the conference room, the boss made it clear that he didn't want anyone in the office discussing out-of-work activities during working hours. Word must have gotten around that his crying was a topic of conversation. He said he is fine, nothing serious, and then said something that took every inch of my composure not to react. I don't know if I can quote him word for word, but he said something like this. I raised my hand and was running back to base, and that's when I slipped in the mud and hit my head against a barrel. When he said those words, I felt like it was a Mexican standoff. He glanced around the room, looking for a reaction, but I didn't give him one. Internally, though, I was like, what in the actual are you on about? I literally watched the paintballs one by one splat off the top of your head over and over before you got walked out of the game by a marshal. Also, it was the top of your head that was sore. Now, unless you dived like a dolphin into that barrel head first, I don't see how that part of your body would get injured if you actually slipped and hit something. Externally, though, my face tried to mirror the rest of the room and was a mixture of compassion and surprise. Shout out to all of you that commented that I should practice the shocked Pikachu face. That was literally what I went for. He still doesn't know who did it. Everyone else believes his story. I'm not sure whether I should let it go or call him out on it. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go. Just let it go.
Let it go.
Your boss is literally Michael Scott. That's
so funny. You already won. You shot him in the head like 7 times, bro.
Yeah, dude.
You know, and he knows someone knows. And that's going to be with both of you for the rest of your lives.
Did nobody else see him getting walked out by a marshal with a ton of paint on the top of his head?
Apparently not if he thinks he can sell that story.
I just think people are just like, whatever.
They're like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, dude. That's so funny.
They're like,
Well-
cool, can we talk about the raise that we were supposed to get?
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't cry. I didn't cry at all.
I didn't cry. It's unfortunately very coded in that.
It is very.
People are saying that I tripped.
That's insane.
Wow.
Oh my God. And maybe one day when either that manager's gone or like you're out with drinking with some buddies that we work with, you could tell that story and then keep it on the DL, but you do not need that leg up on the boss. Don't.
Make your workspace easy to be in. Let it go.
I just feel like inevitably, though, they're going to have like a Breaking Bad moment. where he's going to be in his office and he's going to be talking about music. And he's like, yeah, do you like the Beatles? He's like, yeah, they've got a lot of great hits. And the boss is going to be like, what did you say? He's like, they have a lot of great hits. That last word, hit.
What happens when someone takes out their phone and tries to reach you? What is it called? Call?
Today I f***ed up by not knowing that the guy I like works on the same floor as me. Happened yesterday and I still feel like I want to die. By the way, I'm 19 and he's 21. It all started when a TA for one of my classes got sick and they got someone else to fill in for a lecture. The guy they got to fill in was a fumbling mess, but damn it, he was also so cute. I did some light stalking afterward and found out he has a blog, and it was one of the most wholesome and funny things I had read in a while. He's a total nerd that's very attractive, and I'm so into that. One time I was studying in the library and saw that he took a seat near mine, so I struck up a conversation with him, and it went so great. We talked for hours, and I got no work done. Anyway, I work in a research lab on campus part-time. This past week, my PI was still out on vacation, but my mentor had full access to the lab, so I was free to do my experiments unbothered. I'm laughing at just doing experiments.
It's Dexter.
So the homunculus I made, one of my close friends also works in the same lab as me, so we've been having a blast just hanging in a basically empty lab. It was about 4 p.m. yesterday when we decided to go out into the hallway to just chill for a bit and eat some snacks. One of the doors to another lab that we were standing close to was open, but we didn't think too much about it since the entire floor was really deserted. Basically, everyone was still on holiday. We were talking about this guy she's seeing when she asked me if anything new happened between me and the awkward dude who guest lectured. I told her about what happened in the library, and she started drilling me about his facial expressions and how close he was sitting to analyze if he was into me. We were saying things like, I feel like at least one time his eyes dropped down to my lips, or did he stare at you for longer than 5.7 seconds? Because if it was, he for sure wants to f*** you. It was all for shits and giggles. Then me, being the crass, unfiltered bitch I am, went and said, I would even let him f*** me in the ass if he wanted to.
Amen.
There you go.
Get it, girl.
Amen.
And we both burst out into laughter. Disclaimer, I was kidding. Then, out of
Come on now.
Then, out of fucking nowhere, I hear footsteps coming out of the open door next to me, and both me and my friend whip around to look. Lo and behold, to my fucking terror, the guy I like walks out of the door, gives us a barely concealed shocked look, and says, hey, you guys might want to just keep it down a little bit. Then he fucking winked at me, went back inside, but left the door open. I gave my friend the most mortified look, and she mouths, holy shit, that's him. I straight up bolt down the hallway and flee down the stairs with my friend chasing behind me until I reach the outside of the building where I promptly collapse onto a bench. My friend comforted me amidst many fits of laughter while I died slowly due to the sheer embarrassment I brought onto myself. She also searched up the name of the lab that is literally three down from ours, and sure enough, he's listed under our team. This guy does not have a LinkedIn or Facebook status saying he works there. I've never even seen him in the hallways ever. Do I think he heard everything I said? Yes. Does his lack of any reaction worry me? Very much so. Do I want to dig a hole and bury myself in it? 100%. Comments. I say ask him out. He's probably into you and will more than likely appreciate the gesture. Someone said the wink is not ambiguous in my opinion. I think he's probably flattered and going to ask you out.
I was picturing us the entire time in this story.
Yeah.
Like talking about a guy. Absolutely. He comes out and winks like, girl.
Well, was the wink like, or was it like?
Yeah, they've described him as an awkward guy.
So it's got to be like a cute little doofy wink then.
If she didn't get the
keep
ick.
it down.
Oh. Yeah. Well, so if she got the ick, problem resolved. But
she didn't.
Yeah, if she's still into it, he clearly feels like he's into it. You don't need to count to 5.7.
Yeah.
Update.
Yes!
They f***ed.
Here we go. 2 months ago, I messed up. I was infatuated with this super cute guy who came in and guest lectured for one of my classes. I ended up realizing, not in a way that I wanted to at all, that he actually works 3 labs down from the lab I work at. Basically, most of the floor was on holiday, and my close friend and I were hanging around the hallway, joking about my crush on this guy when I said I would let him f*** me in the ass if he wanted to. He overheard, came out and told me and my friend to be quiet, then winked at me. I was so mortified. I didn't come back to the lab until winter break was over, hoping that the large influx of people would somehow prevent me from ever seeing him again. That didn't happen. On my first day back, I was in the break room making some toast when he walked in. Oh, fuck, I had thought, knowing that a confrontation was probably inevitable and that I ought to apologize for my crass comment. But instead, I frantically looked away and focused on putting peanut butter on my toast because if I do that, he can't see me, right? That didn't happen again. Instead, he came up right next to me, smiled, and said, "Hey, OP, how was your break?" I looked up awkwardly and told him it was fine, mainly just stayed on campus and worked at the lab. He told me that he basically did the same, but he went to see his family for a couple days. He didn't bring up what happened either, thank God. Then he said something along the lines of, "Is that all you're having for lunch?" And I was like, yeah, I was in a rush and forgot to pack something. Then he said, "Oh, I was gonna go grab something to eat at sandwich place near us. Do you wanna come with?" I was like, "What the fuck, that smooth fucker." I tried not reading into it and brushed it off as him being nice, so I said, "Sure," and we went. Well, we ended up having a great lunch. Inevitably, as we were on our way back, he finally made a crack and was like, "So tell me, after our lunch today, how many seconds do you think I was staring at you?" I literally just looked at him blankly with my jaw dropped before he chuckled out, "It has to be longer than 6 seconds at a time, right? That has to mean I like you." By the way, what he said was a reference to what my friend and I were talking about the day when he overheard. Yeah, we fucking know. Even with my shock, I managed to laugh and made a wisecrack back at him. Well, tomorrow is our 1-month anniversary. We have not done the butt stuff. He told me after a couple weeks that although he appreciated my comment, he's not into putting his dick in buttholes.
Not yet.
Looks like I will
What about her strapping on and pegging him?
There you go.
Hey, looks like I will be retaining my butt virginity, and I managed to get a super cute, intelligent, and kind boyfriend out of this whole ordeal.
Oh my God.
That's so cute.
Okay.
I never want to hear butt virginity again.
No,
Ever.
yeah. She said a lot of stuff in here that I was like, this is a really cute story and you seem really nice. Don't make me hate you.
No, I love her. She sounds fun and
Yeah,
cheeky.
she sounds great.
It's very funny. I'm so glad we get like a nice little positive story.
Oh,
Yes.
I love a little happy ending.
He sounds not awkward and smooth and hot
Doesn't
and
sound
tall.
awkward at all. She sounds awkward as
Right.
No.
She's awkward as shit.
No, it's charming on
he's
her.
probably just a little doofy guy.
Yeah.
He's not doofy, you guys.
Doofy is a good thing.
Doofy is not a good thing.
No?
No, doofy is like.
We'll
Guys,
offline about
this is our guest lecturer, Hugh Grant. I do say, was I staring at you for more than 6 seconds?
Oh God, no, I got the egg.
Very sweet. Very
Yay.
cute.
I love that little ending.
Yeah.
Nice.
How long ago was that?
So this was, I don't know how long the update was, but as of posting it, they had been dating for a month. So.
There was a break, so.
It's roughly a year ago that this all
I have a
transpired.
baby now.
Oh,
Yeah.
with the Moana water bottle.
So they could be happy
Puffer
now.
jacket.
Yay.
All right, next story. I fell in love with my rival.
This is my favorite kind of story.
It's called anime, okay?
It's called Shakespeare.
It's called half of Archive of Our Own.
Shakespeare is anime, let's be real. So this comes from True Off My Chest, so it's a confession someone is making. That's the whole point of this subreddit. Yeah, well, shit. I am a man, and he is also a man. I thought I left this gay phase at 15, but no. I knew him for about 3 years since I started drag racing, and since the first day, we have had our rivalry. But despite that, he was always there. Whenever I needed him, there he was. He saved me so many times and still counting. Corny, I know. I just woke up one day and felt the need to see him, touch him in all sorts of ways. He just went back to his military service. Oh, this is just
Everything.
Hello?
This has everything.
This summer.
I need the movie rights.
Yep, I'm here. I bought my ticket. I'm at AMC.
Yesterday, I thought he was just being nicer. A hug is not something unusual, but when it's all the time, it's something else, right? Today, I just realized that I love him. I love him, and I feel heartbroken. It feels like my heart was ripped from my chest. Maybe he was just being nice because he would miss me, and my mind got the wrong signals. I needed to get this out because I just don't trust anyone to spit it out, and he could see this. Ryan, I love you with all my heart. I fucking love you. So I haven't read or watched Red, White, and Royal Blue. Is this?
This is better. This is better.
Better.
Wow. Wow.
Is there an update?
Comments?
A drag racer and a Marine.
This-
I'm assuming. He didn't tell me.
You're right. This is better than Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Wow.
That every sentence.
It just kept getting better.
That was like a fighting game when you're getting a combo going.
Yes.
It was like, whoa.
There was
Yes.
new information each sentence.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Holy shit. That's the best Reddit post I've ever seen.
Wow.
And this
He just
guy
kept it
reads
concise.
Reddit every day.
I was gonna say that. I was like, is that the caliber you get all the time?
Yeah.
Because I need to sign up for Reddit now.
Some comments here.
Wow.
I hope Ryan sees this. Someone said, no homo, I swear, but that was a beautiful profession of love. Go get your man.
It was important because I was about to call that commenter a homo. I'm so glad that they specified.
Glad, thanks for saying that, man.
Thanks for saying that,
Thank
dude.
God.
You saved yourself.
Someone said, what in the Wattpad?
It's so true.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
great.
All I have to say is wow, 5 stars. Siskel
Yeah.
and Ebert give it 2 thumbs up.
Right.
From heaven.
It's a good thing we have an update.
Yes! Yes!
It just keeps
Christmas
getting better. Please let it be a good update.
Okay. As I confessed my sad heart aching story a month ago, that was quick AF. Ryan obviously got the tea because a mutual friend on this subreddit went on snitch mode. I received a letter this morning from him. I won't go into details, but I couldn't be happier to tell you that he reciprocated my feelings. I feel like for once in my life, things are going right. I was in relationships before, but never felt this way. I've been chuckling like an asshole all day long, and I just thought to give the last post a happy ending. That's it. Thanks for reading.
Wow. That is everything.
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Ryan's private. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
You've been chuckling like an asshole.
In cloud 9 from this. This is going to be enough to keep me through the rest of the year.
Shit.
This whole episode proves Reddit to be a beautiful, magical place.
Oh my gosh. I really do need the movie. I do need, or just the Lifetime special, just something.
Yeah.
Truly, like, and I'm assuming when he said drag racing, I'm assuming not RuPaul's Drag
Not
Race. I'm
RuPaul,
assuming
yeah.
we're talking about
Like
literal
Like race.
drag race. Oh, that's so good. That's so, and to proclaim the love on Reddit, just to like, I need to frickin' take up, I need to try this technique because this.
And somebody sent it to him, and then he just did a quick little update because he's obviously in love. He doesn't even want to be on the internet that long. He's like, just a heads up, I'm in love, chuckling, bye.
I know. I want to know this other person who went into snitch mode. He's so happy with this person who went into snitch mode.
That's a
They
friend. Went into snitch
That's
mode.
a friend. I'm going to connect. That's so good.
Look, it's one of those where I'm like, even if it's fake, and I don't think it is, even if it's fake, well done, sir.
I didn't even think about that. You're right, it could have been, but I don't care.
cares?
If
I
it's
don't
fake,
care.
then Shonda Rhimes went on Reddit and gave us free shit.
No, that's yeah.
So good.
That's amazing.
So many details to that. Holy shit. This is a 42-year-old man. I paid my wife, who's 42, for sex. This seems like
Thanks for looking direct.
Amen.
because you
You did?
You guys are sitting there laughing, and I'm
I
like,
paid my wife 42 for sex.
I'm like,
I feel like I gotta
I
get out
wanted
of
to see your
here.
reaction to it. Guys, we're gonna get through 4 stories in this one.
Sorry.
Okay, this comes from relationship advice.
Okay.
I, a 42-year-old man, paid my wife, who's also 42, for sex. This seems like a terrible mistake, but I can't tell how bad yet. Okay. I've been married to my wife for 14 years. We have 2 daughters, 8 and 5. For the first few years, we had a good sex life. Then it dropped back significantly. She stopped instigating and would decline if I did. When I ask, she has several reasons she rotates through. We're too old, nobody has sex very often, or she's too big now. Nobody? People don't have sex anymore.
It's true.
I never have.
Nobody has sex. She gained a lot of weight, and I know it bothers her, but I can't say which came first. She always seems to believe we've had sex in the last week or 2, even if it's been 6 months. Since the kids were born, we have sex 3 or 4 times a year, usually twice around Christmas and once or twice in the spring and fall. It's the same every time, the way she's decided it should be. I rub her back and neck, she gives me a couple squeezes and tugs.
I'm loving this.
Hold on, let me read this. I rub her back and neck. She gives me a couple squeezes and tugs. I go down on her because it's the fastest and most reliable way for her to have a couple orgasms. Then she lays on her back impatiently while I climb on top. It's not ideal. This Christmas, I got her a small gift she really appreciated. Afterwards, when we had Christmas sex, she went down on me briefly, which she hadn't done in years, and asked if there was anything else I wanted. I asked if she'd get on top and wear lingerie. She said it wasn't that nice a gift. I told her I'd get her 2 more. She wanted something else instead, and we ended up naming a dollar amount. At the time, I really didn't care that it was weird or might have repercussions. A few days later, she mentioned something expensive she wanted to buy. I gave her money for it, and that led to her cheerfully giving me the first blowjob I've had in years. It's continued happening since then. Part of me is thrilled. I like that we are having sex. I like that there is variety, and I like that I get input into what we do. I've been in a really great mood all year, and so is she. On the other hand, it seems like this is probably offensive and insulting. It seems like I'm too close to the situation and am heavily influenced by the fact that I've had more sex this year than in the last 3 combined. Am I being paranoid, or is this going to blow up in my face?
You know, if I just feel like if I was sitting on the couch with anybody else or if it was any other video, I would be more logical, but I can't help but be like,
Christmas
this is
sex.
awesome.
Christmas sex. He's just like, I went down on you. All right, let me climb on top. She's like, is it over yet? It's Christmas. It's Christmas time.
But maybe because she's like getting presents and that makes her horny.
She loves
She's
money.
got a little material kink.
She's a material
She's a material queen.
Girl.
A material woman. Seems like I really thought you guys were gonna get mad.
No. I'm a little baffled by this story.
She was like, da 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 da. All right,
get over here.
Okay, so he's asking for advice now.
What is he asking for?
He's asking advice if this is good, if this is like right.
He's got what he wants.
And you're happy and your wife is cheerful, keep paying her. Give her all the money you can if you're having a good time. As long as it's just not on Christmas all the time.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's just, no, he's saying throughout the year.
Yeah,
like,
Christmas came early. It came.
No, like this is like now their regular thing. That
she's like,
yeah.
all the time he's like, I want sex tonight. I go shopping with you.
Yeah.
And then later
pay your
they fuck. Okay.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I genuinely think it's
awesome.
It's a material thing. She wants to be a little sugar baby that like turns her on.
Yeah, maybe that does turn her on.
Which is, you know, if he feels happy to provide that for her, I guess it becomes mutually beneficial.
Okay, what I'm thinking is like, okay, if they both agree on this, if they're both consenting to this situation, then fine. I think that it's like they're not solving the issue here necessarily.
No, definitely not.
Some comments here. I don't necessarily disagree with what is being said, but should we also think about how OP feels in all of this? What does he actually want from the sex he gets? Is it just the act of sex? Does he like to feel attractive, to feel desired? Because this dynamic might not lead to the outcome that OP actually wishes for. Even though sometimes he might feel like beggars can't be choosers and accept what little he gets, if it doesn't actually align with what he is looking for, it might actually be counterproductive over time. OP responded, in a perfect world, sure, I'd like to feel attractive and desired and a connection and all that. But honestly, I'm not that deep, and sometimes a blowjob is really, really awesome.
I'm dead. Okay.
Okay.
You bring in logic
All
that kind
right.
of grounds us, and then it's like, of course, there's.
He's
true
like, actually,
feelings
no,
involved.
I don't want a connection. I want a beat.
He's like, this is whole like lengthy paragraph of like, yeah, one day maybe I can be attracted, but you know, I really like when my suck.
Wow.
Look, if I met
the way you say it like that.
If I met this
feels
couple and they were
wrong.
just like, no, this is our situation, we're fine, I'd be like, all right.
Oh, poor guy.
Another comment, money is sexy. Motherhood? not so much. It sounds like fantasy role-playing has reignited your marital sex life. A lot of people commenting aren't married and don't understand how being with someone a long time can sometimes lead to, shall we say, exploration. This sounds like a harmless form of a kink. Healthy marriages definitely can and do feature sexual exploration. Someone said, take it as a win. Start dating her again. Make sure to compliment her often. See if this is the start of something good. I do agree with that.
I agree.
That's what I mean. Like, if this is like a mutually agreed upon thing that's like, but I think they're falling into it without like acknowledging what it might be.
Sure.
I definitely think it's a new kink. I think that they're unlocking something and they're exploring. And I'm happy for them.
Totally.
My God.
I think we can put like a healthy label over it too, and that like it very well just might be her like she just wants to actually be like a little spoiled. She's like, I want to feel like I'm valued, and sometimes the way that I get that is through gifts or being taken out, and that's how I feel loved. So then I can come home and love you.
What I think is like, look, I can't relate to this story, but like I think.
You don't like Christmas, Shane?
I hate Christmas. No, but like I think these people clearly didn't have like conversations about sexual attraction and desire and like what turns them on. I don't think they've sat and like communicated this. So they just didn't have sex for years. And now it's suddenly like they probably could have gotten to this a lot sooner by being like, what would we like to explore? Because you know, I think a lot of married couples just kind of give up. Like,
it's clear they did not talk about what their desires are.
No.
It's like, I just want to be a BJ.
It's interesting because, like he said, it's over time, right? So it's like maybe in the beginning they were getting a little bit of that like early relationship dating, paying separate kind of thing. But then eventually, when you're married, your finances, they group together, your bank accounts group together. And she started to be like, oh, well, I'm not feeling like paid for in any way. And that's the way that I like it.
And maybe when they first started dating, he like really took her out. He bought her things. So maybe because motherhood it does chemically and physically change you as a person. So I've heard. And I feel like she wanted to have a spark without realizing it.
Yeah.
Human beings are just fucking figuring it out.
And we just want BJs.
The way this guy wrote this story. makes
it's
me
insane.
He's so nonchalant.
She gives me some squeezes and tugs, and then I climb on
I
top.
wanted more.
Where is she tugging?
He needs to write.
Where is he squeezing?
He needs to write erotic fiction. Like he needs.
For
cowboys? I don't know if I would.
Cowboys.
I don't know if I would describe that as erotic.
Squeezes and tugs, I climb on top.
It was actually the driest description of sex, quite literally, that I've ever heard.
Cheerfully giving me a sweet old blowjob.
Okay. Okay.
Shane's hit his limit.
No.
He doesn't like Christmas.
No, I'm sorry. We got to move on.
Okay, well, let's move on.
All right. Okay. Today I f***ed up by peeing my pants in front of my date.
I love that.
Yeah. One of my worst fears.
Really?
Consistently throughout my life, I'm just always like, what if I pee my pants?
Have you ever?
Bro, have you ever peed your pants
I
before?
haven't. But I'm always like, but today's the day.
Have you peed your pants?
Yeah, a little.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I've done like a little leak.
I've peed my pants the full way. Start to finish.
To finish.
Full to empty. And I was wearing shorts. We'll get to that later. Let's hop into the story.
Let's see this and then we'll come back. Embarrassing as heck, guys. I feel disgusted. Today I f***ed up on all levels. I, a 23-year-old man, have liked this girl, who's 23, for around 3 years now. We are in the same university classes, and even during the pandemic, when I barely saw her, I was still crushing on her. I asked her out last week and was over the moon when she agreed. Today we met up in a nearby restaurant, and that's where this all started. I have this condition called paresis, shy bladder syndrome, where I just am not physically able to pee if other people are around in public bathrooms. Even if I really have to go, I just can't. So because of my nerves and because of how hot it is and the amount of water I stupidly drank, I ended up going to the bathroom several times, but of course, couldn't pee. Then she told me that if I was not feeling okay, it would be totally fine to go home. I agreed and apologized to her. She ended up paying the bill. It's so sweet, but damn, I really have to pay her back. And we got out. It was somewhere in the parking lot where it happened. I just could not hold it back. I just stood there, traumatized. I did not know this girl well enough, but I was prepared to get ridiculed. She first went, "Oh my God, are you okay?" and then started stroking my back and took off her jacket and put it around me. She told me it could happen to anyone and I should come to her place, which was a 2-minute walk where I could shower. I agreed to it because I felt like a disgusting mess. We went to her place and, well, it turned out to be an amazing day. I showered, we watched some cartoons till my clothes were dry, talked about life and deep shit, and she got us ice cream. I know she was trying to make me feel better, and I love her for that, but still, I was dying inside. I left just an hour ago because she works in the evening. I was at the door when she hugged me and said it was a good day and to repeat it again soon. This was embarrassing as heck, but for the first time in my life, I was not mocked or ridiculed. Even my parents would laugh at me. I feel like I hit the jackpot now, and it kind of feels surreal that she was so damn sweet and reacted this way. Like, wow, how could she be this amazing? How could she like me? I bet she doesn't and just didn't want to make it worse for me today. That's probably it. Anyhow, that's how today I f***ed up. I guess now I really have to step up my game and to make things right with her. Wow. Pretty sweet.
I love how a person was extremely kind to him and he's like, man, she probably just feels sorry for me. I'm stupid and I'm sad. I pissed my pants.
She actually probably hates me.
I pissed my pants.
Yeah.
It's like, no, she's kind.
Also, you and I gave each other a look, and let's talk about it. They watch cartoons.
They had ice cream.
They
Cartoons and ice cream.
Hot take, I think if I saw my date piss themselves, I'd ignore it. I'd be like,
I don't know if you can fully ignore it if it's a full...
Well, it depends. Is he going like, okay, I'm gonna go now, all right, or is he like...
If I don't see anything but like a little visual, he pissed himself, I'd be like, so good to see you, I'll talk to you later. And I would just get out of there so he could just deal with it.
I'm getting the sense that he probably
Said
communicated as it was happening.
Yeah. Oh, I'm pissing my pants.
He was probably like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm having an accident. That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah. Anytime someone has an embarrassing moment, I'm like, it'll be better for them if I don't clock it.
That's interesting.
I try to do that.
It's a weird compassion, like fight or flight that comes in for some reason.
I try to do it as well because I think that's what I would want.
Yeah. But
I think I put myself and I'm like, I would want people to not know.
Yeah, but what she did was the best.
What about like something in your teeth though?
Oh, that's different.
See, I don't know. Depends on the person. Sometimes I don't want them. I feel inherently like I'm embarrassing them by calling it out. But I know it's more embarrassing if it's still there.
If I have a big chunk of broccoli in my mouth,
I will tell you. I'll tell you.
I don't mind. That's different. Like a booger or something. But like something big, right? Like or just like, I don't know, if someone's going through something and I get the sense that I'm like, hey, if they knew or thought nobody saw it or acknowledged it, they would feel better. Then I try to just be like, all right, I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
But sometimes like this, there's not much you can do.
Yeah.
Like, they're on a date. Yeah. But she was so sweet. And I mean, like, I don't know. I also think there's something to be said whenever something goes wrong on a date of like, it kind of makes it a vulnerable moment. I don't think anyone wants this type of vulnerable moment, but when things go wrong on a date, sometimes it's like the best thing.
No, for sure. It's like the season of the meet cute. Ever since then. What am I saying?
What? We have some comments here. Oh. A lot of people vomit on their date on the first date, pee the bed after a hookup, etc., and end up marrying that person. It sounds like she was really sweet about it. I don't think you actually f***ed up, just something to laugh about later. OP responded, thanks so much, really appreciate this. Yeah, I think he didn't f*** up. He was in a situation where this was gonna happen.
People get married after a piss? I gotta start
pissing
around.
You gotta start pissing around.
Start pissing around.
I gotta start vomiting on dates.
On dates.
Gotta start vomiting. Before we get this started, ball!
I find you really attractive. Ball!
And they come up, they're like, why did you both throw up? It's like, we're at Red Lobster. That's what we do here. Someone else said, well, now you can stop worrying about what happened in the past. The past is gone. Now stop staring at it. Look forward, because you've got a keeper who is happy being around you and understands you. All you got to do is stop being nervous around her and be yourself. You'll be good, buddy. OP responds, thanks a lot, dude. I'm still nervous as heck also because of what happened, but we will see how things go. I hope it works out, but I'm not trying to keep my hopes high. I think that's smart. Someone else said, you don't need to step up your game. She seems to accept you as you are. Just keep being yourself. That's probably why you got that far in the first place. And I mean, look, like with anything on a date, any of our insecurities, I feel like on first dates we try to like hide them or pretend, or there's a tendency to. But it's like, hey, if you really want to be with this person, they're gonna have to know about it eventually. And for your own happiness in that relationship, you want to be with someone who's going to accept it.
Yeah.
So this guy knows right off the bat that she's not judging him for it.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I feel like we're not even judging someone's insecurities on a date. You're actually seeing how someone handles their insecurities on a date. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Whoa.
It's like not what you're insecure of, it's you pushing past it and like wanting to, but that's hard and that's growth.
That's really tough.
And that's gross.
And
That's what you were gonna say.
That's frankly really
That's
gross.
Awesome.
When did you pee your pants? What,
Yeah.
what of what can you tell
I
us?
thought we were going to move past.
We can. We're allowed to move past it.
No. I had my like bladder urethra situation. That's like part of the lore now, and real. And so, but I worked at this pizza place that was a hellish nightmare hellscape. And I had to pee really bad, but I was also like, get me the f out of here. I was like, I want to go home. And I lived literally like a ooh, ooh, ooh. So I was like, I can make it. I can do it. And so I like got in my car and I was like, oh no. And so basically what happened was I got up to my door. It was an outdoor door to my, not a dorm, but like, you know, an apartment that's college adjacent, right? And I couldn't get the key in. And then I started going, I can't get the key in. I'm gonna pee my pants. And then I was like, oh. And I was like,
laugh. It was you talking about the key.
What's making me laugh is that the Halloween theme is playing in my head, as if Michael Myers is walking towards you, and you're like and you're like, oh, and then Michael Myers is like,
oh. No, he's like, you want to come home? I live I live 2 blocks away. You want a shower?
Yeah.
I got ice cream and movies. I Michael Myers.
hell yeah.
Awesome.
Update.
Hi. Are they together? Are they married?
He never pissed again.
Guys, a few minutes ago, she texted me that she is at work and asked me how I am doing. Then she says for the next date, let's go somewhere in nature or to a quiet place or whatever place is comfortable to me. She asked when I was free and I was seriously shaking. This is absolutely the best thing ever. Is this even really happening? There is some chance out there for her to be my girlfriend and it's surreal.
No.
That's so sweet.
Final update.
Thank you.
Our second date is set now, and I know for sure I won't ruin it. This girl is more than amazing, but so are you guys. Thanks a lot for all your kind, positive, and heartwarming comments. I'll make sure to show it to her. I can't believe this is happening, and we are going out again. Thanks to all of you, and have a very, very great day. Totally forgot to say, but some people asked, so I'll mention it here too. She knows about the pararesis. I told her when I was at her place. She proceeded to look up more info about it and how it can be treated and was super supportive. She's totally the best. Never give up. Someone will accept and love you for who you are. You're gonna make me piss out of my eyes.
Our director, Emily, was on the fetal position on the floor.
Oh.
That was really sweet.
What a sweet thing.
I know.
Yeah, that's fresh.
It's a great one. It's a great one to start with.
Also, wait a little bit longer for an update.
I know.
I know. It's like
Secret demons!